Hello. I really shouldn't do that because I think it actually breaks the background. But anyways, back for OFC. This is OFC number 11. This was the semifinal round of the ESR or not the OFC welterweight tournament to declare the first ever welterweight champion of the promotion. And that's kind of really all there was to it. There wasn't really much else this card. I mean, I guess there was a clash between MMA Veterans Jake the Juggernaut Ellenberger and Dan the Handler Hornbuckle. Hornbuckle may be one of the best welterweights to ever fight in the UFC. Kind of damning with faint praise to a certain degree, but the guy who fought a number of people who went on to the UFC and also other success stories as well. Kind of a who's who of the American Midwest, really, and did quite well. Amassed a record of 25-9, very impressive. Anyways, he fought Jake Ellenberger on this card, so that was a bit of a big one. But really, it was the tournament bouts that were the big news. Just quickly recap some of the other stuff that happened on the card. We did see Gary Atticus Richards and Drew Helicopter Christelis punched their GP tickets to respectively the 205 and 135 tournaments. Also, you know what? Hang on. We're going to do a quick thing here. I've got two different webcams hooked up, and they both have different problems, I think. And a primary problem is probably the lighting from over here that is messing everything up. But for now, there's nothing I can do about that. But okay, so this is the one cam, and this is the other cam. And there, it popped up. I don't know. Let me know which one you think is better. I think they're like this one. I think is a bit grainy, but the coloring is better. Like this looks more like me. Also, I think the background doesn't shred as much. The other camera doesn't seem to have doesn't have the ability to focus. Doesn't have the ability to zoom in. I can't bring it any deeper. There might be some software that I can get to bring that in, but I don't know. Whereas this one I can use the settings off of the background software to handle it. Also, I think it's just a less widescreen camera in general. Now, there are some other ideas that I do have a mount that I can probably bring in closer with the other cam, and that would possibly fix some things. So, you know, there's some things that can be done. But I'm going to use this camera. Whoa! What on earth happened to all the... Let's get a refresh on that, please. What is going on? Wow. Okay. Maybe I'm not going to use this camera. What the hell? Oh, the white balance, I think, went through the roof. Auto that, please. Apply. There we go. There. Okay. So, there. we're back to semi-normal. This one has a bit more of a shredding of the background, and I don't really know why. You can kind of see my laundry there. Come on, go away. There we go. This one shreds with the background a little bit more. I don't honestly know why. This one does behave itself much better, despite being much older and much shittier. It behaves itself much better with the background. Kind of bizarre. All right, let's roll with this one. I'm not quite centered because it's over this way a little bit, but whatever. We'll deal with it. So anyways, let's recap the tournament real quick as it stands. So welterweight tournament, 170 pounds. Two of the fighters are coming up from lightweight to compete in this 8-man tournament, one of which was Patrick Justice Osveric, defeated Nilo Teeters by unanimous decision. Dominant display. Not really any doubt in anyone's mind. The other lightweight come up guy, which was Dirty Robbie Scott, pulled off a flying triangle choke against Cascade Manny David. Amazing. That was David's first ever loss, actually. Chris the Strangler Fitch defeated Arnaud Gambit Dubé by submission due to arm triangle in the first actual welterweight on welterweight fight. And finishing off the submission run, we had Benji Leglock Buffet Smith defeat Steve Tuscan Raider McGinnis via rear naked choke. That was in the third round, a little bit of a longer fight than the other two, which ended in the first round. Interesting enough, the grapplers very much made their way through. All the strikers in what were ostensibly striker versus grappler matchups, even if they're present in other aspects of the game, did win. Draw whatever conclusions you want from that as you will. Anyways, but the fight of the night was a long, simmering feud between featherweights Bobcat Brock Eansor, 7-2 in his career, and J.B. Manticore Lydecker, 5-0 in his career. Now, to break this down, both of these guys are pretty well rounded, but they definitely fall into the grappler striker categories to a certain degree. In the case of Eansor, it's a strong power wrestling game mixed in with boxing. Wants to come forward, wants to be in control, wants to pressure you, wants to walk you down, wants to land heavy shots, not afraid to go to the body, definitely a body snatcher, and wants to take you down and wants to power through everything. Does have a pretty underrated choke game, I will say that. Very kind of brute force, nothing terribly fancy when it comes down to it. He wants to do the arm triangles, the rear naked chokes. You probably won't see it, but he's like one of the few featherweights that might try like a neck crank or like just a straight up forearm choke, kind of a Alexander Romanov or heavyweight style top game, to be honest. And then in JB's case, you've got a predominantly kickboxer-oriented fighter who can do everything, though. He can wrestle, he can grapple, he can scramble, he can box, he can do everything. Wins by variety of methods. I think he's won by armbar, TKO, KO, decision. Does everything. Good cardio, can wear people down. And that was the dynamic we were looking at this fight. Now, these two are gaming buddies who have been feuding with each other in various games. I think predominantly MechWarrior Online, but other games as well. I'm trying to give like the whole full bio. This is what happens when you actually have someone who is a real fighter as opposed to a computer-generated fighter. Or a real person as opposed to a computer-generated fighter. You can throw in a lot more like personality quirks into them and actually have a little bit of a storyline. You can make like a Conor McGregor-esque character versus a creative fighter from any game. But that was the fight of the night, and it was a showdown at 145. There's no champion at 145, but I think these two guys are guys who are going to play a role, if nothing else, in shaping that division going forward. And we'll find out how they do. I mean, obviously the winner of this probably looking at a featherweight Grand Prix spot once that comes around. I don't have any plans for a featherweight Grand Prix yet. Let me have a quick look if I have plans for a featherweight Grand Prix, because I do have a little worksheet of kind of like a flow sheet of where we're going next, kind of. I should have just had this up to begin with, because I always want to touch on the future. No, there is no plans yet. We got the 205 and 135 Grand Prix scheduled, kicking off on OFC 15 and 16 respectively, and finishing at 18 and 19 respectively. And in addition to that, we have Motor City Madness coming up. We have Ascension, which will be the welterweight final, the Blood Wars with the Overeems and the Dirksons, a kind of lackluster OFC 15 card, which is just the cruiserweight tournament. It's fine. And then we'll go to Vegas for OFC 17, which will be a pretty climactic heavyweight title fight. That's on the card. So that's what's coming up. So consider that your preview for upcoming events. But yeah, let's get rid of that. That comes in with like some badass lighting. All right, so let's roll. Let's just get into this and do this. You've got the dynamics, and we're gonna bring it on. All right, here we go in the OFC Featherweight Division, round number 1 between Bobcat Brock Eansor and J.B. Manticore Lydecker. Here we go. Lydecker leading out with a low kick early on here, trying to paw out there with that jab. He's a little bit taller than Eansor, although not tremendously. It's a pretty similar reach game we got going on here. Eansor's a little bit wide for his size. He's trying to come forward here. He did eat a good counter right hand there from Lydecker, so Lydecker getting the better of the stand up right now, but I wouldn't say that there is nothing coming back the other way. There's a lot of busyness, a lot of movement from Brock Eansor, and we're, less than a minute into this contest, so this fight definitely still in the process of taking shape. And the problem is, I think Lydecker is being herded back into the cage. That's a little bit of a problem. You can't really put your back to the cage against Brock Eansor, and there's a lovely rip to the body with a big body hook from Eansor, and he shoots in, but it's not a fully committed shot. It's not to the legs. It's more just completely accepting the body lock for the time being and looking to wrestle the fight to the ground right now from that position. So he's pushing him into the cage here. A little bit of cage wall install here by Bobcat, Brock Eansor. He lands a couple of shots to the body there, digging in there with some hooks. A little bit of an elbow up there against the jaw of Lydecker. Lydecker doesn't seem to be very comfortable here. I'll say that much. He's putting a foot stomp in there. He's putting an occasional knee to the body there, but there's not really a lot there. It's not explosive. It's not breaking this clinch. It's not creating separation. He definitely is the fighter that I think wants the range fight. Not necessarily due to any reach advantage, as I was saying before. He doesn't have much of one, but it is where he's more comfortable. Even if this fight is in the pocket, I think he feels fairly comfortable. It's in the clinch that he's not very comfortable. And there is the takedown. The body lock trip takedown from Brock Eansor. He falls into Lydecker's full guard. Lydecker trying to establish some control, but he's stuck up against the cage. This is going to be very, very difficult. His back is still very much to the cage. It's almost a sideways type of thing. But his shoulder is in the cage. The other shoulder is in the canvas. He is definitely going to have a problem here. And there are the ground and pound coming in from Eansor. Short, powerful strikes. This man can generate a lot of power in a very short distance and is very, very dangerous in that regard. Look for him to work with elbows. Look for him to rip to the body. And as I say that, he rips a left hand right into the body and a right hand also into the body. So there you go. He varies up the target. You really are not safe when you're on the ground with Brock Eansor. And the Bobcat is trying to push for position here, but Lydecker briefly loses full guard, briefly ends up in half guard, but has regained the guard position. But it's not an offensive guard. There's not a lot of sweeps here. He's not working for submissions. He's just kind of defending. And Ensor's using that to just, forearm shiver him in the face, basically. There's not much going on here, but it is all Brock Eansor right now. All the Bobcat working his stuff and working the ground game as he postures up a little bit, and a big elbow across the brow of Lydecker. Did not cut him open, but I could see one of those cutting him open eventually. And he's also working that body still, ripping in there with the hooks, ripping in there with the punches. Knee right in the oil check region of Lydecker, and holding him basically in a very uncomfortable position against the cage. I would not want to be in this position. This is a very bad spot. There's not a lot of room for Lydecker to move, and this is why you can't let Eansor walk you down and put your back against the cage. Lydecker trying to scramble out, trying to cage walk, and he does kind of partially get back up, like his feet do touch the ground, but there's a big single leg takedown from Eansor. He's still there. Eansor postures up with a big coming down, what I like to call the grappler's punch, where you just throw the guard aside and bang it in there, but Lydecker actually uses that to escape. But he did eat that shot, and it is not good. There's a little swelling around Lydecker's eye, who is throwing a nice long straight jab, right hand combination there, but he's got less than a minute to try to make a statement here on the feet, and I don't think he's really going to be able to do that. Eansor lunging forward with a hook to the body. Lydecker cracks him though with a step up knee, and that might be the most significant strike we've seen in the fight, but Eansor just completely no-sells it. There's just no damage on this as he forces the clinch again here with 25 seconds, 23 seconds to go in the round. Eansor looking for the open space takedown. Lydecker defending very well. Lydecker landing an elbow of his own in the clinch there. But this round, I think comprehensively, you got to say, went to Brock Eansor here. We got less than 10 seconds to go. 5 seconds to go. Eansor trying to get a takedown, trying to go for something here just to exclamate the round. But I think he's already won the round, and there is the horn. They go back to the corner, and I think Lydecker's got to be thinking about how to deal with the cage aggression of Brock Eansor. For Brock Eansor, I don't know if that could have gone a lot better. He punished his opponent on the ground, did his thing, and frankly, I don't really know if this could have gone any better. And I'm going to leave it at that. We're going to head on to round number 2. All right, round number 2 kicking off here between Lydecker and Eansor. They were jawing at each other before the rounds. There's a lot of heated thing here. I will note that Eansor was talking in the corner about his leg feeling a little bit funny, and we'll see if that affects the fight here as he comes out and immediately starts trying to stalk down Lydecker again. Lydecker landing a good low kick, big jab there as well. But Eansor again is corralling him towards the cage. Lydecker needs to work on this cage awareness thing. Big shot in from Eansor. He elevates Lydecker and slams him to the mat. We were here in round 1, and we're here a lot earlier here in round number 2. Brock Eansor working his ground and pound top game. Lydecker trying to get out, though. He's actually got room this time. He's not pinned up against the cage like he was last time. I think maybe Eansor may have rushed this a little bit. And Lydecker with an up kick. That's a bit nasty. But the guard is passed. Eansor suckered him into throwing that up kick and going into side control. And he's raining down an elbow, 4 elbows in a row right across the bridge of the nose of Lydecker, who is bloodied up now. I see some blood coming from the nose of J.B. Lydecker. Lydecker trying to scramble his way back up. Eansor not letting him. Eansor going for the guillotine choke. Not sure if that's going to be a guillotine or that might actually end up being a gator roll. No, guillotine. Lydecker transitions it into top control and escapes and lands his own shot there. Eansor, however, pushes him off, just showing that excellent, that strength advantage that he has, and enduring another scramble here and puts Lydecker back on his back, center of the octagon here, and wailing in there with some body shots. He is working that body really well. You don't see this a lot. You don't see a lot of ground and pound to the body. A lot of people are headhunters when they get the fight to the ground. Brock Eansor is not that. The Bobcat is divergent, or not divergent, diversified in his ground and pound striking. He will go to the head like he just did right there with a big right hand, but he is looking to keep this fight just absolutely grounded right now. And he doesn't mind working the body. Doesn't mind putting in that. Lydecker's got some pretty legendary cardio. We've never seen him get tired. And it wouldn't surprise me if he were to get tired off of the ground and pound that we are seeing his body eat. Like, those ribs are being tenderized. As Byron Dirksen would say, those baby back ribs are coming home to roost right now. And Lydecker trying to get back up. Needs to work on the get-up game. He's partially up again, but again his legs just get sucked out from under him by Brock Eansor. Brock Eansor still working his game. Still working that hard ground and pound. Working the elbows to the body. Working the punches to the body. Going upstairs every so often. He's got about a half round here still to work. Would really like to see him pass that guard, though, and not go for such a low percentage move like a guillotine choke. Feels like the only time he passed, number one, he had to eat an up kick to do it. And number two, he kind of sold it really easily. A bit of a low fight IQ moment, I think, for the Bobcat. And he's still stuck in that guard of Lydecker right now. They're slowly making their way towards the cage. Lydecker's Lydecker trying to get that cage walk, I think, which may or may not be a mistake. Because, I mean, we saw in round 1 that once up against the cage, he really had a hard time utilizing the cage as a defensive weapon and getting back to his feet. But here he's actually doing a pretty good job. The wall walk is going on here. He's getting to his feet, trying to go for that tie plum, trying to pull Eansor into a knee to the face. That hit more the pectoral region, though, of Eansor. Lydecker trying to shove him off, trying to do whatever he can here, really. It just seems that, like, when they get in close, when they get in tight, the absolute fire plug that is Brock Eansor is too strong for J.B. Lydecker to deal with. Lydecker wants to get this out in range where his, like, more lankier frame lends him some skills. It's a bit weird to see a guy from AMC Pancration getting bullied around like this, but Bobcat Brock Eansor, also a pretty a fairly prestigious lineage himself with the Easy Style Wrestling and Dutch Style MMA gyms, is doing his thing as well. Referee is doing a good job, I think, of also not getting in on this. There's a lot of action still going on here as Eansor is doing the patented elbow down into the knee or into the thigh of Lydecker. I mean, you could give someone a Charlie horse doing that, I guess. It's not going to be fight ending, but it is going to be pretty good. We got the sound going here for about 20 seconds to go in the round, about 15 seconds to go. We'll see if anyone could finish here with a flurry, but this is definitely Eensor's round with a trio of takedowns getting the fight to the ground and doing his thing. And with about 5 seconds to go, he pushes back and unleashes a good 3-punch barrage that really has Lydecker thinking about things as they head back to the corner for the third round. We will see a third round. About the only hope I can give Lydecker, though, is the fact that Eansor does appear to be limping on that left leg. He did say something between rounds 1 and 2 about the leg feeling funny. I wonder if there's an injury here that is exploitable for J.B. Lydecker. If not, I don't really see what he can do. He's not had any real good moments of offense. I mean, don't get me wrong. He's had maybe the most exceptional strikes landed of the fight with that up kick in the up kick earlier on. He had a big knee in there as well. So he's got that venom, that potency that he's going to need to bring, but he basically needs a finish or a complete ass whooping here in the third round, because he is down unquestionably 2018 best case scenario. Round 3 here, Eansor versus Lydecker, the Bobcat versus the Manticore. Here we go. Eansor coming out. He's just going to try and do his normal thing. I think he is stalking forward again, just throwing some busyness, looking to get into that crashing pocket, into that clinch range. That's where he wants to be. Lydecker does not want to be there. I want to be very clear about that. I thought the clinch honestly would be more of a competition here. I thought Lydecker's kind of more Muay Thai style clinch would lead to some levels of ability, but it just has not. Lydecker lashing out with a low kick there, follows it up with a right hand down the pipe. Eansor did not like that. He's coming forward, throwing a little bit of a barrage himself, but he does look a little unstable on that left leg. I think Lydecker knows that. Lydecker attacking that leg with a chopping low kick there, right to the calf region, and also pushes away out of the clinch and stops the momentum of Eansor just completely with a big slashing elbow up across the chin and the nose of Bobcat Brock Eansor. This is a very different round already. I mean, in the first 2 rounds, we saw Eansor more or less able to get the fight to his range and dictate where the fight takes place. Right now, he's getting outstruck, and it's pretty bad. Lydecker's showing some sharp boxing there. Good 1-2 punch there, 3-punch combination. Throws a kick to the body, and Eansor he doesn't seem to have the confidence to go forward right now, which is weird. I know we were talking about that left leg and how that left leg looks a little bit lame, but at the same time, it feels like he should still be attempting to do what he's brought here to do. I mean, he's not had a takedown stuffed really cleanly the entire time. He's had to work for some takedowns, but Lydecker's takedown defense has not been up to par. And Lydecker coming forward now with a big couple punch combination there. I'm not sure how much of that really landed. And Lydecker going for a takedown, and he gets it. So now Jonathan, or J.B. Lydecker, the J stands for Jonathan, I'm sorry, gets on top position and starts to land his own punches. Eansor scrambling towards his feet. Before he can get up, he eats a big knee from Lydecker, but does manage to get back to his feet and lands a couple of punches of his own, like 2 big clubbing blows from Bobcat to try to create separation, which is weird because he's the one that's wanted to clinch the whole time. But now Lydecker is absolutely showing the aggression there with a big knee to the body, followed by a big left hand. Lydecker is backing him up. He's doing his thing now. He's that southpaw that's getting to unleash the left hand finally. And a couple of low kicks as well there, chopping at that lead leg of Eansor. Eansor is struggling right now. That injury is got to be pretty bad. Lydecker shoves him into the cage and starts landing some Muay Thai style knees to the body and also a little bit to the head, although Eansor, I think, rolling with most of those, avoiding any real head trauma right now. Nothing really at fight ending, but Lydecker's turning it on here, but he's got to find a finish. And that's the question right now. Eansor is a guy who has been stopped once before. So, I mean, it's definitely on the cards as a possibility. And Lydecker, of course, himself has 3 stoppages by strikes, has 2 submission stoppages. He's venomous everywhere. He's got potency. He's got that fight-ending ability. But right now, he's really struggling to really create he's struggling to create fight-ending offense. Like, there's a lot of offense here. Good leg kick there again from Lydecker, circling away from the power hand of Eansor, who comes forward with a big 1-2 overhand right combination, but it hits nothing but air. Lydecker with a good counter left hand of his own. Good right hand jab, followed by the uppercut. again crashing into the clinch. I'm not sure if this is a good idea as Eansor scores a takedown with a trip. Brock Eansor in top position here with a minute to go. That may have sealed the fight right now. Lydecker trying to find his way back to his feet, trying to find a way to do something. Hits an up kick again. Lydecker showing that ability to throw up kicks. I like that. There's a lot of fight ending tenacity to him, but he just can't find a way to do it. In fact, he is going to get back to the feet here with about 40 seconds to go, so Ensor's leg may be keeping him from having the same level of control that he had before. And Lydecker launching into that leg again with a big kick here with about a half minute to go, followed up by a left or a right hand and then a left hand. Throws a second left hand there. That one did not land. Eansor was ready for that. Eansor shoots in for a takedown. Lydecker stuffs it. Lands a knee to both to the shoulder and then to the head. And he just goes for the mount position now. He turns Eansor over, but Eansor himself gets back to guard really nicely. Tight guard here with less than 10 seconds to go. Less than 5 seconds to go here. And Lydecker looking for a submission hold. It's too late. And the horn sounds. I don't know how Lydecker could have won this fight. I think that third round was his, but I think Eansor definitely did enough to keep that down to about a 10-9. I can't imagine that that's going to be any kind of like 10-8 scenario here. I don't think a draw is possible. But let's see what happens here. And we're waiting for the judge's decision here. The two are having some friendly banter as we await the decision here, as all three judges' scorecards come in. And we have the judges' scorecards being read. All three judges have scored this fight 29-28 for your winner by unanimous decision. Bobcat Brock Eansor moves to 8-2 in his MMA career, handing J.B. Lydecker his first loss, dropping him to 5-1. Well, obviously, in the case of Eansor, I think we're going to have to probably wait until the doctors diagnose the leg as to what is his next step. I'm certainly a big proponent of seeing some action between him and honestly a number of fighters. I think he has a style that definitely could lend itself to a lot. There's not a lot of people obviously in the division, unfortunately. You'd be looking at someone like a Sean Smith at the top of the pile. Really is the only matchup that makes sense. For Lydecker, I don't know. I would love to see him tested against an aggressive fighter who's got that footwork, that ability to come forward. Someone like Malachi Garza, maybe. I don't know. That could be a direction we go. Or maybe Carnell Slampage Hall. Also an option, I think, that would make a lot of sense. We'll have to see what happens. There's always, of course, Paul Riccobeni sitting out there in the wings waiting for an opponent, so we could see him versus Bobcat. The only problem is I feel like he's going to be in action before we get to the point where Bobcat is healthy. In fact, I do believe the Rick and Rolla is booked for OFC 16 against Colton Rice, so we will see him there, but I'm not a big believer in the signing of Colton Rice. An interesting jiu-jitsu game and everything, but it does feel like Riccobeni maybe has a tool set to do that. So maybe that is the fight to make. Long term, you go Rock and Rolla versus Bobcat. I don't know. And for Lydecker, I think I'm going to pencil in that matchup with Malachi Garza, which I had not really thought of until looking at the roster right now. Garza, of course, lost to Steve Mazo in his debut. And since then has picked up a regional win, moving to 5-1, I think. Yeah, so it'd be a 5-on-1 versus a 5-on-1, and it would be a similar style to what messed up that Eansor applied here, just more of a striking based one to a grappling based one, and that would be very interesting. So I'm going to pencil that in as well as an option to look forward. Steve Mazo also would be a guy who might make a lot of sense for the Bobcat, but he is currently booked against Peach Fuzz Dylan Fournier, so we'll see how he handles that one, because spoiler alert, not that I'm predicting the future here, but we do know, and fans of the Stick 'em MMA community will remember that the Peach Fuzz, don't let the nickname fool you, that's a serious prospect coming up in the world of OFC. Anyways, that is the fights for today. I hope you enjoyed it. We got OFC 12 coming up. Going to be running that probably in the next 2 days or so. Let me pull up the fight card here and, I don't know, make some predictions maybe as to who we might see on this commentary. We got Ribeiro Ventura at the Flyweight Division. Possible. Flyweight, I think, is always a possibility. I don't have high expectations for Greenwood Flanagan or Mangold versus Sidwell. Austin Dubois, not really. Profit versus Balaga, not really. That's some heavyweight stuff that really probably isn't terribly great. Mitch Craig versus Jonathan Yeagers, not great. Mark Meatloaf Kelso versus Jason Walk, not amazing. I could see Darius Bundridge versus Justin Lamontagne being some fun stuff. That's a possibility. Not really hyped for Patrick Krummenacher versus Tyler Witt. Rochelle's fighting, so we always do have Rochelle Tengelegaren, who's fighting Rose Sekhmet Jakobsen. So, definite candidate. We got my brother Kyle Magus taking on Sean Hatch. That's a definite candidate. And he's completely sim created, but I do feel like an amount of kinship with Trent Viper Severin. Not a real person, but sim created as he takes on Rover McClellan Tuck. That could be a fun fight. That's the main event as well. So that's what's coming up. I don't know if I did a tremendously great job of selling that one too heavily, but I do think it's going to be a reasonable fight card. So we'll undoubtedly have something exciting to handle, and I hope you enjoyed the first, I think, longer play-by-play that I've done, just because this fight had such significance within the Discord itself.